Hello and welcome everyone. So we're gonna make sure that we are live. Life is starting. So excited to be here again. Happy Monday, everyone. So we're just gonna, I can see it, so we're good. Perfect. So as we go ahead and we start, this topic gets me so excited because everything can be achieved and done, obviously, if you have intention, if you are clear on what it is that you want to do. And if you don't, no problem. This will help you as well to get the principles and the concepts and be able to apply it for yourself. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and let me know you're watching the replay. If you're here live, go ahead also and just say hi. Let me know where you're listening from. I'm going to make myself comfortable, make yourself comfortable, get your coffee, put me on pause if you're watching the replay, get yourself your coffee, and let's get some intention set for this call or for this free training. So if you're feeling like it's extra hard, like not extra hard, but if you're feeling overwhelmed in your business and you're just like, or like your time's running away from you, we're gonna pretty much be talking about four areas or four things that will help you to create a schedule that will also help you to be consistent in creating your own version of consistency in anything, right? Where that is putting out content, creating your offers, taking time for yourself, the amount of hours you want to be working, just creating that consistency and still having that life and balance that you crave so much. Because if you're here and you're in this community, it's because you want the freedom, but you also want to be able to have a profitable business and to be able to make sure that whatever hour you're investing into content, into your business, it's having that ripple effect of returning, right, a profit. So that's why I decided to title this intentionally scheduling your schedule. So the first thing that we're going to be covering is going to be how systems, processes, and automation help you to create that scheduling intentionality. Then it's about putting things in the calendar, then putting everything that is important to you and also that's necessary for the business that only you can do needs to go in that calendar. And lastly, share it with those that need to know about your availability. So that can be, in my case, I share that with my husband, my kids, and obviously whatever availability I have for calls, I'll share it there. So I will dive deeper into these four areas that have helped to really create that space where I don't really spend. I mean, it's a joke that we have here at the house where it's like, what do you do? You know, they're like, mom doesn't work. And I'm like, I do work. I just, you know, the way it's framed and the way I do things is because of these first and foremost, the systems, the processes, and the automation that I have. But I'm very, very specific in my calendar. And I'm going to share with you how specific I am today. So I have my phone here with me and I'll be able to see my calendar, be able to explain to you. So you can take notes as well. So in the beginning when I started, just to give you some context, I just went in and basically I wanted to just be on my own. I didn't want to have to rely on a 9 to 5. And funny enough, I went ahead and I created sort of a 9 to 5, right? I had clients, and I wasn't trading time for money, but I felt that I was very task oriented when I was in the business. And it was a lot. There was no boundaries. There was no scheduling. There was my schedule was available to everybody. I said yes to everything. And I'm like, this is not going to work. This is not sustainable. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I need to set some boundaries. So the way that I was able to create boundaries with myself, clients, life, and business was by opening up a Google Calendar and really looking at every hour of my day. Okay. And this might make you feel overwhelmed. But I'm like, I want I want time for quiet time. Like, I want to be able to think for a moment to myself. What does Patty need? I want to be able to go work out. I want to be able to get my manicure, pedicure. I want to be able to get my massage. I want to be able to sleep in. But I didn't know if I had the space or the bandwidth, right, to do that if I did not have a calendar that showed me exactly hour by hour how much time I had. I'm like, I want to go with my daughter on mother-daughter date. I want to take my son out. I want to have date night. I want to have all these things, right? I want to give great service to my clients, but I can't be answering emails every 5 minutes. I want to be able to switch off from being CEO to being a mom. There needs to be that space, that shift. And what I have found to be true and really effective is if it's in the calendar, it happens and I stick to it. I don't take it off, I don't switch it off, it's there. And I started creating a system and a process. I'm like, okay, so how do I make myself accountable to be able to make sure that I'm putting everything in the calendar, right? Not just saying yes to everything and then getting into the calendar. So I opened up my Google Calendar and I said, okay, so if I want to work out, when can I go work out? So I put in my calendar the time I'm going to wake up, obviously. I put in my calendar, here, let me open it up. I put in there my work hour time. I put the time I'm going to take out my dogs and walk them around. I put my lunch break. I put in the time that it takes me to go pick up my kids. I put in there the time that I am going to go, it's a family dinner. And then I also put, what else do I put here? The time that we are actually having breakfast with the kids. Because to us, it was very important to be able to have that time with them, to have the meals, to have breakfast together, to be able to talk before they leave, and be able to have dinner together. So by putting it in the calendar, it was just like I don't put anything there because if I don't have it blocked here in my calendar, I'm like, oh, I have the time, but I really don't. I really don't have the time if my desire is to want to have dinner as a family. So by putting it there, I know, okay, if someone were to ask me, hey, can you come over and let's have dinner, right? And I say, okay, let me check my calendar. I'm going to open it and see what time. And then they're going to say, well, let's go have dinner at um let's say 5 o'clock, and I'm gonna be like, well, you know what, that's our dinner time as a family. How about, and here's where trade-offs come in, right? I may not be able to do a dinner with a girlfriend that day because to me I want to have dinner, right? Let's say on a Monday they'd be like, let's have dinner. I'm like, not on a Monday, but I could do a lunch, right? Because I have lunch worked out for myself. So they might say, okay, yeah, let's definitely do that. But I have the space for it, right? I don't have to worry, did I schedule a client call? Or am I going to skip lunch because I did a client call? I'm still going to get fed. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to relax. I'm going to catch up on a show, or just play with just eat while I just watch my puppies walk around, cuddle with them. Or I might be able to do the trade off and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go have the dinner, right? But I know that I'm communicating to my husband, you know what, maybe I'm not going to have dinner here with you guys tonight. I'm going to go out with a friend and or whatever the situation is. But what I'm trying to say is that by actually having it in the calendar, you know exactly what's available to you, right? I know Mondays, I want it to feel spacious. I want it to feel slow. I like to go into my week slowly and phase out. So for example, Mondays, I wanted to feel not stressed, not charged because it's the weekend. I want to have space to think, to breathe because the kids go back to school. The house is a little quieter. So I'm not going to put a lot on my calendar on a Monday, right? I'm just going to probably put a meeting if it's needed. But for the most part, Mondays, sorry, are more open, right? And then that's more like my day to me to be here in comfortable clothes, having my coffee and just having quiet time. I've tried doing things on a Monday. It's just not going to happen. It's not the thing, not my thing, not interested. So I don't do it. So then Tuesday, I start feeling more energy. I might add in, Tuesdays, what do I have? I do have coaching calls on Tuesdays, but I only have one, and that's a group coaching, and maybe one private call with a client, right? But I have the same thing blocked off, right? I have the drop off of the kids. I have um, lunch blocked off. I have the blocked off time that reminds me that I gotta go pick up my kids, and I have dinner, and I also have my bedtime. Not necessarily that I go to bed at 8, but that's the time obviously kids go to bed. And that's the time where I know that it's time for me to unwind. Okay. That's very, very important because I wasn't in that habit of doing that. My habit was very go, 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 and very on, on, on. So I know that I'm going to make an effort to put my phone away, switch out, maybe just watch something on TV with my husband, or just go do my routine, right? Get myself ready for bed, put my PJs, clean my face, do my night routine, and then go to bed. Probably read an article before I go to bed. And we call it a day. But that's only possible because I am actually opening my calendar, looking at it, and really blocking off that time because that's what's important to me. So if you feel, man, I really want to feel more spaciousness, if the feeling is you want to feel spaciousness, more calm, more ease, it comes down to doing this work, right? Opening a calendar, plugging in what's really important to you. I would call it your foundations, your needs. Because if you take care of yourself, you're going to come in and show up in the business a better CEO. You're going to be a better parent if you have kids, and you're going to be a better partner if you're married. And it's just going to make you feel very balanced, very free because you know exactly what you're doing, what's going on, and you know you're meeting all the things that you need, right? You're making sure nothing's falling off the cracks. So I update the calendar for the month. I use the last week of the month to kind of see what's going on the following month. And I update as needed, right? So at this point, I've already plugged in what I need to do, what I want, right? So I leave open. Once I've done this, it tells me that I really only have like maybe 4 hours a day for work. And I really only have Tuesdays and Wednesdays open for work, Thursday, Friday, because I wanted to have 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4 day weekend. Well, actually, to feel like a 5 day weekend, I've only blocked off those 2 days or opened those 2 days for work. So it's definitely going to look a little bit different on work days. It's not going to be as open. But if I were to get a call that day, or if I had the urge to go shopping on a Tuesday, Wednesday, I know that that if I look at my availability, or if I want to take a nap, Patty can take a nap after her call, for example, at 1 o'clock. After her lunch break, Patty can go take a really nice nap because there's nothing there in the calendar. It's open. So I'm still taking care of the things that the business needs. One, I'm taking care of the clients. Two, and I'm taking care of myself. It's giving me all of that I want because I'm being very specific on what it is that I need, but what does the business need to keep going, right? I cannot say, oh, I'm going to have all this space and freedom and not give the business what it needs. It's not going to work out to what you're looking for, right? So plugging that into the calendar helps you to stay consistent with having flexibility, with showing up to your clients, not forgetting your client calls, and also for clients to be able to know what your availability is, or when you're going to be showing up for group coaching calls or private calls, whatever the model is in your business, right? So that would be Tuesday. I only have a private call and a group coaching call. And then if I go to Wednesday, that's a very and that's also left for group coaching calls and private calls. And I leave about 3 to 4 hours open. This Wednesday, my morning will be open. Yeah, it will be open because I have a doctor's appointment. So you see, all of that gets plugged in. So for example, in this case, let's take Wednesday. Obviously, I need to take care of myself. By me knowing exactly when clients are going to have calls, or I'm sorry, when I'm going to have, I didn't have a client call scheduled that day, right? I was able to schedule my doctor's call that day. Could I done it on a Thursday, Friday when I'm off? Yeah. But I think at this point this was the only day that was available. So it was a trade-off, no problem. I can go ahead and do it on a Wednesday. I don't have anything else to do. I don't have a coaching call that day. I don't have a private client call. So I can go ahead and do it, right? And then it allows me enough space to take my lunch break as well and then be able to go ahead and go pick up my kids at school. I hate it. There was a point in my life where I was it was back to back hours. Like I would just cram pack my schedule. And I don't under maybe it's just the high achiever in me. Like I could do it all, but that doesn't serve me. That doesn't serve me at all to like I know I could do it. Like it's not as if I can't. But I want to feel the way I want to feel is I want to feel spacious. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel that what's important is getting done, right? So what's important is my health, that I'm feeling peaceful, that I'm feeling, not keeping my stress levels low. And that is gets done by having systems, processes, and automation, which in this case would be a calendar that I will update every month. And then I will be looking at pretty much on a daily basis. And then I'll have reminders turned on so it reminds me, right? If I have to go to the doctors, it'll let me know, okay, let's go. You need to leave 30 minutes before. If I'm going to have a call, it's going to remind me as well, just so I don't forget and I can still show up because I am a mom, I am a wife, and I can't expect this brain to hold everything. That's not, that wouldn't be loving on my part to be doing that for myself. So that's what I do, right? And I put it in the calendar. And then I share that with my husband so he knows what's going on. That way he knows exactly, my availability. And then the kids also know my availability. And that has worked so well because everybody knows what's going on. And they know that if they want something or they need something from me, when they can expect to get it from me because of how my agenda is. And it's helped so much. The same thing, with when it comes to clients, when they come in and they're like, well, I just feel burnt out. The first thing I ask is, do you have a calendar? And they're like, yeah. Do you plug in everything in there? So I would ask you the same thing. Do you have a calendar? Do you plug in everything? Right? If I want to take a vacation at the end of the month, I can go ahead and take a vacation at the end of the month without worrying that is going to impact my clients because I've already blocked that off beforehand, all of that. Client calls are all blocked. Like my availability has been already blocked off. No client can schedule a call on a Thursday, Friday unless I'm okay with it, unless I have gone into my personal calendar, right? And I make the decision that, okay, I can go ahead and open 2 spots this day. So don't, that's something I want to say. Like, don't take it like you can adjust, but understand that if you open up a day that you've already said, I don't want to be doing work, but you open it up, you're doing a trade off. It's rare when I personally decide to open a Thursday or Friday. It's rare. Maybe a Thursday I'll open, but never will you see me open a Friday. It's just not going to happen. Not my thing. Not interested, right? But I will try my very best to do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm not trying to go ahead and open more days any other day of the week because those are for me to go and recharge. I just show up better. I just feel better. My health, right? There's things that need to get done there on those days. My workouts are on those days. And to me, that's a non negotiable. So you need to be solid in what's the word that I'm looking for? And acknowledge the feelings and the things that you want to feel and the things that you want to do and be able to put it right because if we're creating businesses and we're trying not to be stuck to a desk to a cubicle or trading time for money and we're going to try to shift that around, then you can have the dream schedule you want. You can, right? I might not be able to I might be available to check in with clients in the morning and maybe once in the afternoon, and maybe my support coach is going to go in and check in with clients in the afternoons or maybe in the mornings to make sure that clients are getting supported. So I'm putting things in place that can give me more time, but that at the same time support my clients well. because it's about taking the time, taking a step back, and really taking the feelings and the desires you have and the idea of what a freedom and profitable business you would want to have, and putting it in practice. And it starts with that, designing your dream schedule by plugging in everything. And then you can really see, right? Okay, how much can I do? So when I plugged it everything into my calendar, I'm like, okay, if this is what I want, I only have like 10 hours to work. How can I do everything that I need to do to just work those 10 hours, right? In the week. And only those 2 days. So that's when you start getting creative, right? Then you'll know exactly who you need to hire. Then you'll know what programs, or not programs, but how to craft your offers. Can you do private coaching? And if you are doing private coaching, how many private coaching clients can you onboard? And is that model really going to support the lifestyle that you want, right? Is group coaching a better offer for you? And can you still deliver the same results that you would in a private container, right? So you can start having those conversations. And a lot of it goes back to that, right? So I created my schedule, and then based on my schedule, I created my offers, and to find a way to give that massive, support that I can give my clients. Because if my offers and my schedules don't match, it's just not, they can't be off. They have to both work together. And it all starts with really creating your schedule with intention. And then, okay, Mondays or Wednesdays, right, are my days to create content. And this is when the posts are going to go out. So that creates that consistency. So by putting everything in the calendar now, every month I know, okay, at the end of the month, I have to know exactly what's going on the following month. Do I need to make adjustments? And as meetings are coming up, as things are coming up, we're already starting to plug things in for November, December. And that my calendar was already pre-filled with vacations, kids time off at the beginning of the year. So I know that and clients know already now that November there's going to be a 1 week off, and then December there's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember. I think either 2 or 3 weeks that we're going to be off in December, and we start January, I think the second week of January. So I already know what I can do, how much time I have available to go and be off. I don't leave it to chance, and I can adjust it as I go, but it's a lot of pre-planning beforehand. So I can start saying, okay, if we go ahead and plan a vacation in December, we know exactly how many days we have available. If we haven't planned that yet, and I know what to expect, how my day's gonna look because kids are home, and what adjustments I need to make. Because if they're on vacation and I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, let's say I have a group coaching call, I can adjust, still be a present mom, and be able to do what I love, which is supporting clients and creating their own freedom and profitable business, and still do something that I love very much, right? And I know that I'll be able to, my schedule's going to slow down a little bit more because I'm not going to do school drop offs. So I may be able to, I'm going to have a slower morning, and things change. So that has created a lot of spaciousness, but also created a lot of consistency. Because if I don't want to be busy doing, let's say, writing a bunch of content, let's say, while the kids are off, I'm not going to do that. I might just start writing an extra post a month before, right? So that when vacation starts, I'm not doing that during that time. Because I naturally just want to be busy doing things with them. I want to be sleeping and want them just be in my PJs all day, having pancakes, watching TV, right? And with kids at home, I'm just not gonna concentrate, right, as much. And I don't want to have to go to sleep later to write a caption. Not gonna happen. And I'm just not gonna wake up earlier to do it. So I will do it in a way that works for me, and that would be maybe writing an extra post, maybe creating an extra video, from here on to the end of until November, in order to be able to meet the consistency of showing up live, right? So that's something that you can go ahead and take into your business life, that framework of having a system, a process, and then whatever you can automate, put it into your calendar, block off your time. And if you find like, oh, okay, I need to go and adjust my schedule, great. This will help you to say yes to things that light you up and to create a business that feels very free, very mobile, very things like, I'm going to do this live. It's a Monday. Yes, I don't have a problem with that. But after this, I'm going to go and catch up with a friend, have the best time ever, and laugh. And my clients are still going to get supported. But my Monday doesn't feel like a Monday. I'm very excited to show up for this Monday, right? I get to be here with you guys in this community, share with you, help you, and then connect with you. And then I get to go and be with my friend, get excited about her wedding plans. Then I get to go pick up my kids and hear about their good day in school today because it was their first day back to school. And I get to be in all these dimensions without feeling stressed out and without feeling like I'm missing out on something. But it's because I've put that intentionality into my life. And it's just about actually really sitting down and really framing that and really kind of like a painting, really designing that for yourself. So, does it mean that because you work 10 hours, you're not going to get, you know, your profits a stop? No, it doesn't. You just need to find a way around it that works best for you, but gives your ideal clients the best opportunity, not the best opportunity, but the best results, right? Whether that's private coaching or that's group coaching, it's going to give them and you the best of both worlds, basically. And it can be done. I've seen different models in my years in business, and any model can work as long as you're very clear on what it is that you want and you do the work, right? You need to space out, create boundaries, and then be consistent with it. So at this point, I remember I wasn't consistent in content. It was not the thing I wanted. But I found what was consistent for me, right? What was easier for me, what it was something that adapted to my circumstances as a mom and as a business owner, and that works really well for me. So it's about really being clear. So once I had everything in my calendar and I knew the availability, I know when I can get on video, when I can record that podcast, when I can write, when I can think, when I can get creative, when I can have team meetings, when I get to train support coaches, because all of that still happens. Um, but because we have that framework in the um in the calendar, I'm very, I know what's going on. And then if an opportunity were to present itself right now, it would be basically me trading something off, right? Could I, let's say my audience is saying they want more support from me. I would literally have to decide if I want to open another day, right? And if I do open another day, it's going to be a conscious decision that I'm making, and because I have the calendar, and I'll be able to decide, if I'm willing to do that, and whatever decision I decide, I'm going to be okay with it because I'm going to look at the overall picture and see if this is going to give me more of what I want, right? Let's say if what I want is more spaciousness, more time, I'm not going to go ahead and open another spot, right, or another program. But what if I can open another program, right, to support more people, and maybe I can just open another hour on a Wednesday, right? Let's say I'm only working 2 hours, but I can open another hour on Wednesday, right? I have 4 open hours in my Wednesday. Is that okay? Would I be willing to do that? Obviously, right? So, do you see what I'm saying? It's just going to help you make these decisions without having to compromise the things that are very important to you. And this is something that I believe if we can start early on in business thinking about, helps you to go ahead and be able to scale and grow without feeling stressed, without feeling like you're resenting the business or it holding you back from really expanding. A lot of people say, "Well, but it's going to be a lot. It feels heavy." But it feels heavy because maybe there's no structure. It feels heavy because you can support a lot of people. You can. And within 2 business days, right? Two days in the business, you can. It's just about being honoring your own feelings, putting it in the calendar, and getting support around that, and then you staying consistent with it, you respecting the calendar that you've already plugged in with your desires and the things that need to get done, getting everybody on board with it, whether that's your team, your clients, family, letting everybody know. And it's funny because I even have my self care on it, and my daughter knows about it. She's like, "Oh, Sunday is your self care," and that's when I do my mask to just be able to ease myself into the week, right? So it works really really well, and it's helped me see the possibilities of what I can do, but also it helps clients see the possibilities. They're like, oh, well, then I can really see myself scaling this. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you're looking at the bigger picture. So if you're like, I would like to do more and I would like to increase my income, but I don't know how to do that with my schedule, it's like really just go in and plug it in. Plug in the things you need to do, the things you want to do, and then see how much is available. And then we can start crafting, right? Offers, products, services that can give you that other side of it, right? That you want, whether that's the consistency of income, whether that is vacation time, whether that is working less hours, reducing your hours. Or maybe you find out like, I thought I only had 10, but I really have like 20 hours. And I'm okay with working 20 hours. But the only way we're going to know exactly what we have available to work with is by plugging in the calendar and sticking to it. So if you are watching the replay and you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will come back around and go ahead and answer your questions. And that's what's basically what I wanted to share with you. Google Calendar, Google Calendar, Google Calendar. You can create the consistency in your life, in your business that you want. But it's really important to just get in there and really see what's available and really plugging in your desires. Just put it in there and then stick to it and then work with it. Oh, and then work with it. So that's all I have for you guys. And we'll go ahead and see you again next week here in the group. And I can't wait to chat with you guys. Bye.